April Samuels. I actually was born in Amarillo, Texas, but I grew up in Plano. I'm a drummer, a breast cancer survivor. A lot of people I know don't have a passion in their lives, and this is my passion. And I live for it, I really do, every single day. I started playing drums, I got drumsticks when I was 5 years old. I was in a music store with my mom for my brother's guitar lesson. Found a pair of drumsticks, and I was like, "Mom, get it for me." So she got me those pair of drumsticks. I started taking lessons when I was 11, and I've been playing ever since. So I've been playing professionally for about 20 years. So I'm about 22. It was a Tuesday, 9 o'clock in the morning, and my phone rang. And my doctor said, I can't really believe it, but you have breast cancer. It's what's called triple negative breast cancer, and it's high grade. And he told me to take some time, get on the internet, reputable sources, and learn about triple negative breast cancer and what high grade means. And I learned really quickly that it wasn't good. A couple of days later, I was able to go in and sit down with the doctor. I prepared a big list of questions and asked him everything I could. And I remember the moment really well. I recorded every conversation with any doctor through that whole period because there was so much information at once. And I asked him, I said, you said it's triple negative, you said it's high grade, it's the worst it could be, is that right? And he said, well, yeah. So I looked at my dog, and she was 12 or 13 at the time, and I thought she might outlive me. And that was just really shocking, to think that my dog could outlive me. I think anytime someone is diagnosed with breast cancer or any kind of cancer, they just immediately think they're going to die, and soon. So that's how I felt.
But you haven't.
No, I haven't. Very thankful for that. Yeah, when I did talk to my doctor about triple negative breast cancer and everything that we knew at that point from the biopsy, and I said, well, you're telling me that this is an aggressive form of breast cancer, so I want to be aggressive right back. What's the most aggressive approach? And he said a double mastectomy and 4 months of chemo. And I decided at the time not to have reconstruction because I just wanted to make it easier to find any cancer in the future, because the most common place for it to recur is either on your chest wall or in your lungs, and I just wanted to make it really easy to find if there was any threat in the future. So I went ahead and did not have reconstruction, and I wear prosthetics. Literally within, I believe, 10 days of being diagnosed, I decided that I wanted to be the biggest advocate that I could in the fight against breast cancer. And I came up with the slogan, "Breast cancer can stick it," combining my passion for drumming and my passion for fighting breast cancer, and came up with that slogan. And I had my friend draw up a little logo and everything, and started selling t-shirts and raising funds in the fight against breast cancer. So jumping into that made it where I could take all the energy and turn it into positive energy and start doing something in the fight against breast cancer. I was also really active in my church at that time and had a really strong church group in my family. We were very close as well. So having my friends and my family just gave me a lot more energy. I found that if I was alone for very much time during that whole time, that it was really bad for me. I would get very depressed. So sometimes friends would just come over and stay a few days with me, and that got me through it every single time. Debra and I met at church. We went to a church together called Whosoever Dallas. We met a few years before I was diagnosed, and she's just an amazing photographer and an amazing person too. She had an exhibit called Underneath My Clothes, and had several people that she had done phototherapy with in that gallery. And I remember one woman in the gallery was a woman named Karen, and she had had breast cancer, and she had had a double mastectomy. And I just remember how touching and how moving those photos were, especially of Karen. And Karen was there that day, and I actually had a chance to talk to her. And so shortly after I was diagnosed, I don't know, I had this feeling that Debra was gonna call me and ask me, and I had already decided that if she asked me, it wasn't necessarily something that I wanted to do, because you're very vulnerable in a phototherapy session, but I knew it was something that I needed to do, to be able to get through everything. It's hard to describe, but Debra will talk to you about whatever it is that you've been through and just bring forward those emotions through whatever issue you've gone through. It doesn't have to be necessarily something where you're left with scars or any kind of body deformity or anything like that. It could be an emotional problem, but she'll talk you through everything, talk to me about, going through breast cancer, through my diagnosis, and just kind of bringing all those feelings out. I definitely did feel like I wanted to push back, when she was talking to me, but I still found a way to push forward and still be able to release those emotions, which is the whole point of phototherapy. You're there, you're naked, literally, but also emotionally, and it's that whole process that is, I can't even describe it. It's just a wonderful process. I'm just so thankful to have gone through it, because when I look back at those pictures, I can really see how far I've come, not just physically, but emotionally too. It is really something that I'm so blessed to have had the opportunity to do. When I look at the pictures, I guess I knew at that time that I wasn't, sure what was going to happen. I knew that I was going to have chemo. I was pretty sure I was going to be okay, but I didn't know for sure. I didn't know what chemo was going to be like. I didn't know, there's risk with chemo. There's risk with all the treatments and everything, all the medications and stuff like that. I was scared, but I also was sure about my decision, and I was focused, on what I wanted to do and how I wanted to get everything done. So.
And how do you see yourself now?
I feel physically and mentally strong, unless somebody asks me about how I used to feel. No, I do. I feel like I am here for a purpose. This is what I'm called to do. Breast cancer can stick it is my life. This is something, it's the first time I've had something in my life that I feel like every point in my life brought me to where I am today with this, and it was all building me up to have this organization, and I will carry this all the way out, and sometimes I think, I'll do this until the day I die, and well, no, because we're gonna solve for breast cancer before that, right? That's the plan. So, while I keep thinking, I'm gonna do this for the rest of my life, the plan is to not have to do it for the rest of my life, and then I'll find another cause to get behind and do that. I've played drums since I was 5, basically. I got drumsticks when I was 5 years old, and so it's always been a part of who I am, and I always wondered, I was like, once as I got older, I was like, well, I'm not signed, I'm not touring the world, what's this drum thing about? Is it just a hobby? What's the purpose behind it? When I got diagnosed with breast cancer and came up with Breast Cancer Can Stick It, it was like, that's what it's for. It's to bring a new spin on awareness for breast cancer, to be able to reach a whole new audience, and to be able to take this to a whole nother level and raise awareness. Breast Cancer Can Stick It. We've done so many amazing things. Sometimes I'll have to step back and go, whoa, what just happened? Some great examples are, in 2013, I was preparing for one of our big Breast Cancer Can Stick It events in Corpus Christi, and I was talking to Ricky Rocket of Poison, who I got put in touch with. And he was like, well, what kind of drum set are you playing or whatever? And I told him, I was like, but I've been looking at your Rocket Drumworks kits for a while. And he was like, let me see what I can do. Called back a week later, and they donated a black glitter drum set with pink hardware for our Breast Cancer Can Stick It events. And so we use that at all of our events now. That was amazing. Also having some great celebrities at that event that year. Troy Luccketta of Tesla, Jimmy Deanda of Bullet Boys was there. Another thing that happened last year was Bret Michaels from Poison did a meet and greet wearing a Breast Cancer Can Stick It shirt on his birthday. And so all of a sudden all these pictures started showing up out there. In fact, that day that they gave us that drum set or called about that drum set, they offered me an endorsement deal, so I play Rocket Drumworks now. I have 2 kits, that black glitter kit with the pink hardware, and then a black kit with pink checkers and pink hardware too. And the thing that makes this celebrity interaction so important is that spreads the word even more, so we can raise even more funds. So last year we wrote a check to Baylor Salmon's Cancer Center for $10,000. We've also donated to the Pink Daisy Project, which is an organization that helps women who are going through breast cancer right now, just with financial needs, whether it be a gas card or a restaurant gift card or anything like that. So we've been able to donate a lot, and then this year we're doing a big thing called a drumathon, and it's going to be our annual walk, if you will, but it will be geared towards drummers, but anyone can participate in it, and we're hoping to raise between $50,000 and $75,000 from that one event. So I mean, it's just growing bigger and bigger, and we're making a bigger dent in breast cancer each day, really. I really feel that it's important to reach women directly as well. So many times I'll be talking to someone and they'll be like, oh, my friend was just diagnosed. I'll be like, tell them to write me on Facebook or whatever. And having those direct conversations are so important when you've been diagnosed recently. It's really hard to talk to people that you're close to about breast cancer because they're emotionally involved, right? But whenever they can talk to me, I've been through it, I understand, and they don't have to worry about me getting upset. Not that I don't care, but I'm not, a friend or family member that can't handle hearing how hard it is. So it's important that we do it that way too. I'm a drummer, a breast cancer survivor, and the founder of Breast Cancer Can Stick It. That's who I am. Everything about me. Sleep, eat, drink, drums, breast cancer awareness. Every day.